Let's get into the team selection, because I think ahead of Monday night's game there's plenty of time to think about it, but I do think it's quite an intriguing one, maybe the first poser of the season really for Jurgen Klopp to really have to think in depth about his team selection for a game. But Doyley, start with you, and I imagine we're all going to be in agreement. Alisson Becker is the goalkeeper. How would you think that the back four is likely to line up, Doyley?
Well, if Joe Gomez is fit, I would imagine if he's fit, that means that he can't have been that injured in the first place, which is what Jurgen Klopp said at the time. So if he's fit, he's got to play. And then you've got the rest of them. Trent's had a rest, Andy Robertson's had a rest, and Virgil van Dijk may as well have had a rest in the first half, to be honest. I'm not even sure he actually ran at any point. And when the first half ended, he just got off. Thought he was like going to go home, just get a taxi and get home before everybody else. But no, he was still there at the end. So yeah, the normal back four.
The only question I'd put to that is, Joe Gomez at the beginning of last season struggled to sort of get into the side. Matip was in there. I think even Lovren at one stage got ahead of him coming back into the side. And if Fabinho is, I suppose, the man in possession of the jersey, does Jurgen Klopp, Sean, maybe not think about actually just keeping it how it is for the time being?
I would be sorely tempted to do that were Henderson available. And I'd work back from midfield there. And yeah, I mean, I think in terms of rhythm, Van Dijk and Fabinho obviously looked excellent against Chelsea. But Fabinho wasn't necessarily shaky when he came on against Lincoln, but like the line became a bit shaky, and it was just a slightly weird situation for him to come on into, even though it was obviously like a pre-planned substitution. And you know, the intensity of the game dropped off a little bit, didn't it? So he didn't look as good as he did against Chelsea. But were everyone fit, I'd play Fabinho alongside Van Dijk. But I agree with Dory. I think it has to be Gomez to free Fabinho up to play in midfield.
I mean, I agree about Gomez, because when we did the team selector before the Chelsea game, I actually had Matip playing rather than Gomez. Didn't know Matip was injured then, obviously, but I thought Gomez was quite poor against Leeds, and you know, it's whether or not he can respond to that. I mean, it will be interesting to see, because if Fabinho plays in midfield, as we've mentioned, Fabinho plays centre back, as we mentioned before, it opens up so many possibilities in midfield.
Yeah. Just actually looking.
I am going for Fabinho in centre back.
Yeah, I'm just tempted on that one, just because looking at just in the meantime, just pulled up last season's fixture lists, and after the opening game of the season in the Premier League against Norwich, Joe Gomez came out of the side, and he played then against MK Dons in the third round of the Carabao Cup, but not really another game of note, I suppose, till that Champions League game, the first home game of the Champions League campaign, the 4-3 against Red Bull Salzburg, where he didn't have a great game. So I think we're split on this one. I think I'm with Connor. How are we looking in midfield? Anybody going to go for a crazy tactical change, or are we all going 4-3-3?
I'm going to explain Fabinho first, if that's all right.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, despite the form of last season, despite him not having, you know, the best of pre-season, the best game against Leeds, Joe Gomez, I don't know if I'd want to rush him back anyway, because the last thing you'd want is him to get further injured and then have to play Fabinho. Again, as we said, Van Dijk and Fabinho played so well against Chelsea. The players are all bang up for it. So might as well let them continue, to be honest. I think there'd be easier options for Gomez not to have a Aubameyang cutting inside against him.
I've changed my mind. I'm on Fabinho centre-back. Okay.
Sean, you were tempted before. Are you saying we...
I'm plowed alone for it now. I'm going to stick to my guns. So, okay, I'll give you my midfield. So, yeah, Gomez as centre-back. I'll go Fabinho, Thiago and Wijnaldum. So, at least there's, you know, a measure of consistency there. Probably two of the three, you know, usual kind of big-name midfielders, if you like, for a game of this stature. And yeah, Thiago, maybe a little bit further forward than he was against Chelsea, but give him a lot more licence to just ping that ball around.
Doyley, what's your midfield looking like?
I'm going to have two in midfield. I'm going to have Thiago with the Widge, those two at the base, because Thiago's used to. I know he played as a one a number of times with Bayern Munich, but most of the times he's playing in a two. So what better way to get him in there than to get alongside somebody who, I'm not saying he's the same kind of player, but yeah, who'd have thought that like Thiago and Wijnaldum would be lining up with the same Liverpool team? There you go.
And Connor?
Yeah, I wanted to as well. If you've got Fabinho in centre-back, he's obviously not, you know, the senior centre-back, he's a senior defensive midfielder. The two will give a lot more protection to the defence. And I think that is what I'd want to see, not necessarily what we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think 4-2-2-2 is the way to go in this. It was sort of what Liverpool did in the Community Shield game to open up Arsenal. I think Arsenal playing with that midfield 2 and a back 3. I think more players at the top end of the pitch might do some damage. So, Doyley, you're going, whether it be 4-2-3-1 or with a sort of forward 4. Who are you lining up in that position, those positions, and in which formation?
Well, I'll probably go 3, although let's be honest, they'll just do what they want because the players don't take any notice to me when I send them out there. They just do what they want. It's almost like they know more about football than I do. Weird that. I'm going to go with Mane on the left, Salah on the right, Minamino in behind Firmino. There you go.
Sean, you're still going for 4-3-3. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna play the usual suspects. So Firmino and his proud goal scoring record against Arsenal, he stays. And obviously, yeah, Salah and Mane either side of him. But I'm going to have Minamino on the touchline warming up throughout the game, eyeballing Firmino and saying one false step from you and I'm coming on. Yeah, and then you've got the option. To be honest, you make a good case, and especially given the second half of the Community Shield, that you've got the option then of Minamino on and switching the shape if it needs to be done.
He was in midfield?
My midfield?
Yeah.
Fabinho, Thiago and Wijnaldum.
He did go through that one before. You must have been having a nap then.
Sorry. Yeah.
Connor, how's the top end of the pitch looking for you?
Yeah, look, I think a 3 and a 1 with the 2 will do a lot of damage, but it'll be so fluid as a 4 with Minamino and Firmino swapping places, same players as Doyley. Then you've obviously got Jota to come on. Curtis Jones might be on the bench. There's just so much talent that you can bring on. The players can work exceptionally hard, do loads of damage early on, and then bring in the reinforcements if needed.
Yeah, will be interesting to see how it plays out. Before we go then, let's quickly go around with our score predictions. Sean, I'll come to you first for this.
3-1 to Liverpool.
Doyley?
5-5. No, not really.
That's Thursday.
Yeah, don't say that. It will be 2-1. 2-1 to Liverpool.
And Connor?
3-1 Liverpool.
Well, we'll have to
An optimistic 3-1 though.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. I personally, I'll go against loyalty. I think it will be 2-0 to Liverpool, but we'll have to.
You don't think Arsenal will score?
No, I don't think they will. No,
I do. I think they'll score. Yeah, I think they'll score.
We'll have to see how it does play out. But that's all from us here on the Blood Red podcast. Enjoy your weekend ahead of next week's feast of football to come at Anfield. Check out everything else we have on offer across on the Liverpool Echo website, as well as on the Blood Red channel, whether that be podcast offerings or our dedicated YouTube channel. The link to our twice daily newsletter can also be found in the description. And if you like, rate, review, or subscribe, that's always very much appreciated. Thanks for your time and company. Bye for now.